Morning. It is Sunday morning. It is July the 3rd. How are ya? You doing okay? I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together just about 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather. Hopefully, get your day started off on the right note. I am off today, so I want a big thank you to Cam Tran, who covered me this morning. Not a sick day or anything, just some scheduled vacation time, which is something I think we all need to recharge, refresh, relax, and enjoy the weather. So let's chat about things, see what's doing. First off, top two things we are monitoring today. Of course, we continue to preview your July 4th forecast. I heard all the fireworks going off around my neighborhood last night. Maybe you did the same. We'll be looking at that and tracking the tropics. No more named system in the Carolinas for less than 24 hours. We tracked Colin. It was downgraded to depression and then a remnant low. And frankly, this one was kind of borderline. I don't know that this one ever really had that beautiful look of a tropical storm, but if it met their criteria, it met their criteria. And of course, the National Hurricane Center will be going back in and assessing things as they do every single off season. But this one didn't ever have a bunch of organization. It had some, but it never quite had a bunch. Let's look outside, shall we? See what's doing. There's a shot from our tower cam network at the Kennedy Space Center, looking nice and bright. Let's head over to Melbourne, see what's doing. Camera needs to be iris. Let's head over to Port Canaveral. I'd love to go there. I'd love to go there. Let's head to downtown Orlando. There's Camping World Stadium looking very nice. Our WESH 2 Studios Tower cam looking good. Peeking off toward downtown Orlando. Downtown Orlando itself, nice and into the tourist district. Disney Springs, you are wearing that sunshine nicely, my friends. All right, let's talk about things, shall we? Temperature-wise, you can see here on the bottom of the screen, we're kind of cycling through, but 80s for some, 70s for the rest of us. Here's first warning, live Doppler radar. We are rain-free this morning, just some stuff off of either coastline. But as we look to the forecast, my friends, mid-80s by 11 o'clock, upper 80s by 1 p.m., lower 90s this afternoon. And just like yesterday, a widespread setup of showers and thunder showers, a 70% coverage seeing the activity today. So yeah, it's going to be yet again an active one. All right, good morning to everybody. David, Elizabeth, Marie, good morning. Terry, how are ya? Joshua, good morning to you. Chris, good morning. Betty, Ann, Nancy, good morning to you. Samaj, good morning. Janice, gosh, everybody's up on a Sunday morning. Rain-free mornings, rain afternoons. It's true. I may have to go mow the yard, as a matter of fact, this morning. Steve, good morning. Camille, good morning to you. Kevin, good morning. All right, so what about the rains? When do they arrive in your neighborhood? Let me dial up Futurecast and see what's doing. All right, so here we go. We're nice and quiet this morning. Doesn't take a meteorologist to be able to tell. I'm looking out my window, and it is stunning outside, right? Push mower ride on. Oh, I don't have enough property for a ride on. It's a push. It's a push. Also means that I showered for nothing this morning if I'm doing that. All right, so here's 10 o'clock, still looking good. 11 o'clock, starting to see those showers popcorning up. Just like yesterday, noon is your window, right? Before noon, you're good. Afternoon, you can see showers, even some thunder showers already starting to pop up. Patty says we got 3.22 inches in Palm Coast. So loud thunder, but it poured. Had to drain the pool. I don't know that I have to drain the pool, but let me look and see how much rain I got yesterday. I got 0.79 inches of rain yesterday in my house. Better than nothing, right? Do it early and hydrate. I know, right? Exactly. Jump in the pool after. You know. Although with all the rain, I wonder if my pool... I've turned the heater off this time of year, and I wonder if the pool's warm because of all the rains from yesterday. All right, 1 o'clock, Futurecast showing those showers and thunder showers spreading throughout. 2 o'clock, same idea. High coverage of rain, and again, we're getting things going early which is good because early to start, early to finish, right? 3 p.m. you can see some of those more intense storms over in Brevard County. 4 o'clock, everything off to the east, and then by about 5, 6, 7, we're kind of firing up more activity out to the west. Marion, Putnam, Sumter, even over towards Citrus, Hernando counties. Yeah. Matt says Mount Dorian Neighborhood Weather Station said 2.86. That's not bad. Marie, good morning. Went around my home, had a little... Wow, you didn't have much but a little drizzle. Isn't it funny how that works? Betty says, quiet weather here in Nokomis. Isn't it funny? It's so funny how, some of us get a ton, some of us not get a ton. You know what I mean? Isn't it funny how that works? So that's 6 p.m. today, and then, of course, afterward, we'll just kind of watch the rain chances gradually fade 7, 8 o'clock. You kind of get the idea from there, and then kind of continues to fade thereafter. All right, so today, again, is a healthy dose of showers and thunder showers across central Florida. Just plan for it. Around lunchtime on, you're taking weather into your own hands. If you're out and about. Yeah, nothing in St. Cloud yesterday. Isn't it funny? Weather is one of the few things on the planet that just every single day throws me for a loop, If you're wanting to get to the pool today, couple of showers early, then we get into those thunderstorms. It's just an okay day. It's not a great day. It's not a good day. It's just an okay day. Phyllis says, oh no, cruising the Halifax River with the family. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the problem this time of year, right? Is we get those showers and storms just widespread. So if you're heading out to the beaches, by the way, we do track those showers and storms, again, favoring the East Coast communities. Surf running about 2 to 3, water temperatures in the low to mid-range of the 80s. Looks pretty so far in Daytona Beach, Andy says. Absolutely it does, but you're going to want to go now-ish rather than later-ish, right? Because this beach forecast shows those showers and those thunder showers, especially into the afternoon. Now, looking ahead to the forecast tomorrow, and I think that this is an important adjustment, right? Because wrong button. While we look at the forecast for today, and you can kind of see eventually it all works inland, we start this pattern shift. So for tomorrow, let's look at tomorrow, right? Because it's the 4th of July. Odds are you've got some sort of plans going on. Here's 7 o'clock. We're looking good, right? Nice, quiet weather. 8, 9, 10. Again, it's the same idea. But watch by lunchtime, we're popcorning those showers and storms. Beaches will be quieter, though, tomorrow, right? Like, look through the day. I-95 is like a force field. Everything's inland and then focusing out west. So for fireworks plans tomorrow, for any outdoor plans for that matter, plan on showers and storms kind of metro west, whereas today everybody's going to have a decent opportunity to get the rains. And those rain chances are going to be heading down just a little bit for tomorrow. So if we were to just compare today and tomorrow, okay? Today, 70% coverage of rain. Tomorrow, 60% coverage of rain. It's that little bit, that 10%, that's our beachside communities, right? That are getting a little bit drier for tomorrow. So things are looking better for our beaches tomorrow. But I would say as a whole, we're looking better because by the evening, by tomorrow, what do they say? Like 9 o'clock fireworks usually get going. Like there's 9 o'clock on Futurecast tomorrow. That's pretty okay. Taylor says 95 is always a force field. Yeah. I wouldn't say not always, but yeah, oftentimes, right? Because the way that the sea breezes get their things going. Yeah, you're pretty right about that. Gina, I bought some Premier Protein yesterday. Delicious but expensive. 30 grams of protein in one serving is great. Yeah, I will say it's not the cheapest stuff in the world. 2 weeks is like $30 for me. So it's like, but here's the thing. So I drink 2 of these a day. I will say that Costco is where I get it, and it's at least a little bit better because it's way expensive at Publix. Way expensive at Publix. I would also add, I would also add that for me, I used to go to Starbucks or I used to go to McDonald's and get little frappuccinos. This has replaced it. So even though it's expensive, it's still cheaper than like $4 or $5 a day for my afternoon drink. So that's the way I kind of justify it. Cheryl, howdy. Good morning to you. My hedges are cut back with the help of my brand new 22-inch hedge trimmer for my 71st birthday on the 10th. Happy birthday, Elizabeth. My husband, Mr. Bill, needs positive thoughts and prayers. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that. He's feeling the day after exhaustion. Hopefully getting better. Take it easy, Mr. Bill. Take it easy. And then when you get better, you can come help me with my hedges. You don't have to do it. I just need guidance. So you can sit there. I'll hook you up with water, Gatorade. You could be the foreman of the job. Forgive me if I'm misgreeting anyone. I'm a singularly focused guy multitasking. Oh, Chris. Vital Nutrients is also a complete protein with lots of collagen that is great in your coffee. Interesting. Best frappe in Brevard is Indian Rivers Coffee. Interesting. I'll have to check that out sometime, especially if they have a sugar-free deal. Kevin says, just so you know, you were inspired me after watching you for years on TV. I had gastric sleeve done on February 8th. My high. Oh my gosh. You made it up to 450 and you're at 319. Well, first off, Kevin, thank you for the kind words, buddy. That means the world to me. Second off, welcome to the Losers Club, buddy. Look at you. Look at you killing it, man. I have to ask Kevin, how do you feel? That's what my neighbor was asking me, and I'm like, I feel like $1,000,000. You don't realize how that weight takes its toll on your body until it's gone. Tell me how you feel. I just want to hear. I'm so proud of you. That's so incredible. Cheryl, happy 4th to you. Brian, is the rain in the forecast coming from the feeder bands from Colin? There is no Colin. Colin negligibly should have never been named Colin, for that matter. But I digress. While we're hanging out, let's chat a little bit about the tropics. Tropical Storm Colin is nothing. Here's the remnants of Colin. Massive sustained winds. Here's the funny thing, okay? I have a friend who is a meteorologist. Well, you know Jeremy Nelson. So as Colin was going by Jeremy Nelson in the Low Country, coastal Georgia / southern South Carolina coast, the Low Country as they call it there, 0 wind, just some rain. Now, there were definitely some gale conditions at the beaches, but, should Colin have been named? The Hurricane Center followed their their criteria, but it was named for less than a day. Yeah. So, it's one of those things. It's annoying when these storms get named. Like, it was ashore and it was named. But I digress. At any point, Colin is done. It is not the feeder bands. I was showing the radar to my friends yesterday. Like, if you were, let's just take a moment and let's just zoom this in. If you were sitting, okay, in Elizabeth City, well, just look. I mean, Jacksonville, North Carolina, big military presence there. Did they even get a shower from Colin? Completely lopsided. Not what I would call a tropical storm or even a tropical depression. Rose says, I lost 220 pounds of ugly fat when I divorced my ex-husband. Get it, girl. Get it. Kevin says, went from a 54 waist, 60 suit to a 38 waist and an XLR as I am 6'5", dropped 30 pounds my first 3 days, was off meds for blood pressure, diabetes, etc. My A1C went from 6.9 down to 5.7. I also went from sleeping 2 hours a night if I was lucky to get to the restroom and then back sleep, hopefully. Wow. Kevin, oh my God. So I went from a size 42 waist to like a 30 waist. I went from a size either a 54 or a 50, either a 52 or 54 jacket, maybe a 58 size jacket suit, you know, I'm at a size 36 suit. Kevin, I went from where, and I don't know if you did, but I had a CPAP, and I went from using a CPAP to no CPAP. I sleep like a baby. Man, I just seeing what you're going through and getting better, it's like you have taken control of your life. And I certainly am not one that wants to suggest people do this or not do this, because as I've tried to be very transparent about, it's not easy. But holy cannoli, you're doing great and you're extending your life. Like, that's the thing. You know you've got people that love you and you're doing it. That's where I was. My neighbor was asking, are you going to get the skin removal surgery? Because this is a mess. And I'm like, you know what? My wife loves me. Like, what am I out for? I wanted to improve my health. This is like a battle scar to me. And believe me, it's a battle. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to I don't need to do anything but my health. And I'm feeling better for my family. I get to, God willing, watch my babies grow up and get married and have their babies. And I was headed down the wrong path. And so when I read this, when I read that you're doing great things, it makes me feel so incredible inside. So I thank you for sharing that with me, with all of us. You have made my morning. Rose says, I never thought you were fat. Well, you know, I was. And I appreciate the kind words, but I was. I didn't feel good. I wasn't able to live hardly. It was really quite tough. Betty says, you look years younger now. Love the glass. Thank you very much. Yep, this is the new frames. New frame. You know, we go back and forth on Fridays. Marie's asking, anything new in the tropics? So we've got this. This is just about done and over with. It's the remnants of Colin. Don't know that it ever really was a thing. Elsewhere in the tropics, there was another area that we had been monitoring. Down here, not doing anything either. There, of course, is what the B name storm. Why am I blanking? Bonnie. There you go. Bonnie. So we've had Alex. Alex was very brief. It developed off of our East Coast, has moved away from Florida. We have Bonnie, which crossed over to the Pacific Basin. And we have Colin, which formed and faded within 24 hours' time. Yeah, so 3 named storms. Don't know that Colin was. Chris, I'd seen you ask at one point, could they go back in and delete it? I don't think that they will. You know, there was definitely tropical storm conditions, but could it have just been, you know, an offshore storm or this is where you get into like the true analytics of it. And this is where it's tough because like the National Weather Service, their focus is on accounting for these things, right? My focus is on the messaging, right? So if I were to tell you that there was a tropical storm over you and you're like, it's sunny out or it's cloudy and breezy, but it's not windy, you wouldn't believe it, or you would believe it and you would just say, they're naming everything these days, right? And so that's the difficulty in the Hurricane Center having to hit those analytics, whereas for me in the messaging department, kind of having to explain, yeah, it's a tropical storm, but it's kind of a lopsided one, yada, 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 yada. So that's where the two missions of the broadcast meteorology community versus the National Hurricane Center community, it's different, yeah. Kevin says, I realized this yesterday, my resting, your heartbeat from 160 or 120 down to, been very active, also young child. I'm trying to read the comment here, Kevin. I also have a young child. I have a 7-year-old son, and I want to be around to watch him grow. But what I figured out yesterday was all the naysayers about the surgery and stuff. For the first time in my life, my stomach size matches my body image, and that's important. Because having all that weight on and trying to diet, my stomach did not match my body image. And when I was at that point, which means if I got sick, injured, fell off the wagon, that weight was going to come back. This is a chance of a lifetime to do this change. And I thank you a million times over. Well, thank you. Listen, this isn't me. You did this. I did that too. And I want to be 100% transparent with anybody because I want to tell you the good. And I want to tell you the bad. And I want to tell you, Kevin, and anyone else that's done it, it's not. I was so obsessed with thinking that it was cheating, right? It's not cheating because, Kevin, you're working your tuchus off. But all of us are just trying to get through this life, and we're trying to be good, and we're trying to make it a great life. So let's do that, buddy. I'm so proud of you, and you have taken control, and you are giving yourself a second chance. So I am so proud of you. I'm so proud. That's such a great thing. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. After I left New York, they started to name the nor'easters. The Hurricane Center doesn't do that. The National Weather Service doesn't do that. The Weather Channel does. And I do not like that. I get what they're trying to do, but it needs to be a meteorological community thing and not just them. So that's the struggle. Yeah. Mikhail says, hearing these stories about this surgery makes me so happy. My mother just got the surgery done about 2.5 weeks ago. Let me tell you something, Mikhail. She's got quite the road. These are not easy weeks. My first month was really, really rough post-surgery. I could barely move. I wasn't getting enough calories. But, man, as I was telling our kid, and I'm not going to name this person, but our kid's swim instructor just had the surgery, and she and I text back and forth and back and forth and back and forth all the time about the surgery because she just had it. And she's like a year after me. Like, I just hit my year mark. And she's going through some struggles. She was in the hospital. And I said, I remember being in the hospital, and it's like, just remember one thing, insert person's name here. And I don't want to call her out because, it's not for me to share. But I said to her, I went through all that you went through, and I'm a year out. And I promise you, I don't regret it. It is still the best thing I have ever done for myself. So, as difficult as it is, through those little speed bumps, it's still the greatest thing I ever did for myself because I feel you can't put a price or a value on that feeling. Kevin says, it's funny you mentioned cheating because that's the reason I didn't have it done 15 years ago. I felt as though I did this to myself, whether because of physical issues or eating, and I can take care of this myself. And the doctor told me it's not cheating. And I, of course, didn't believe him and put it off for another 6 years after seeing you and your journey. I'm like, I have to do this. And I did. But cheating was a major factor. Isn't it interesting? Our mind over matter. My doctor was very clear. I mean, you get to a point where you just can't help yourself. Your body works against you. So, Jenny says, I've been considering doing weight loss surgery after watching your progress, Eric. My boyfriend thinks I can lose the weight without it, but he doesn't realize how hard I've tried. Everybody's path is different, Jenny. I had a pancreas thing, but I could still, everybody's health is different. You have to remember, it's like brain surgery. If you were told you needed brain surgery or brain surgery could help you, would you say no or would you take it? Understanding the side effects is huge. Understanding the road to recovery is huge. Understanding that it's not easy, that's huge. But as long as you understand, Jenny, and I think that maybe your boyfriend's trying to be positive, like, you've got this, you can do this. But those of us that have struggled for our entire lives, at what point do we say to ourselves, you know what, maybe there is some help I could get? I'm still responsible for myself. I could have 20 of these a day and I could blow up like a balloon, right? But if that's just that little extra, listen, you want the car, it's been sitting on the car lot for a while, and then they put it on sale. Oh, well now I'll get it. It's kind of like that, at least the way I feel. If there's just that little bit of added help, then I could actually lose the weight. And guess what? I'm down 130 something pounds. I weigh 150 pounds now. I was so embarrassed to ever share my weight prior to my surgery. I was anywhere from 283 to 287 pounds most of my adult life. I sat nearly 300 pounds most of my... You know what it feels like being a television weather person Knowing that when you walk in the door, you are the fat guy. Knowing that you've probably had your career influenced by your weight. You know? Knowing that you're not healthy to be able to lift up your babies. That some of you do. Some of you don't. And it's a terrible feeling. Beth, we're sending positive vibes to you. I've heard some equate it to rehab. There are times you need intervention, and that's okay. Yeah. The people would also get on me about cutting carbs and eating healthier, telling me it wasn't good for me, that Atkins was no good. You know what it is, Kevin? I mean, I could tell you I have very, 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 very little carbs today. Yeah. To each their own. What do they say? Opinions are like, armpits. Everyone has them and they all stink. You got to do what's right for you, your family, and listen to your healthcare providers. That's all. I had the RNY gastric bypass, Mickey. Yeah. Isn't it funny how I feel like we always take these little turns like, yeah, we'll talk weather, but we also get into just such derails. Betty says, and this is absolutely the truth, bypass surgery only works if you can maintain a diet forever. It is just the beginning. That's true. It's like learning to fly an airplane. Getting your pilot's license is literally getting a license to learn. You don't know everything when you're cleared to fly. First time I was up in a Cessna 152 by myself, I'm like, okay, am I really ready? Like, I guess I'm really ready for this, but it really is. It's a license to learn. The gastric bypass for me, it helped me get over the hill, the hump, and now it's up to me. And I take this responsibility so seriously. Seriously. Like if we're at a party, like I'll take one little bite of a cheesecake or one little bite of a cake or a pasta. Like if I go to like an Italian restaurant, yeah, you better believe I'm going to have just a little bit of that fettuccine Alfredo just to get that taste. You better believe, I'm not turning that down, but I'm not going to have a bowl of it. It's up to me. You don't go through, truthfully, you don't go through this hell because it was not fun. You don't go through this to go back. Al Roker wrote his book, Never Going Back, or Ain't Going Back. So true. So true. Brian, back around the week of June 14th, back when the heat indexes were insanely high, I made a guess that the hurricane season was probably going to accelerate mid-July because of the rapid increase of water temperatures. Fast forward last week when you were showing the long-range BSR models and we saw all of the projected activity in the tropics coming. My question is, with all that is being shown on the BSR models last week, how much of that is based on my predictions about rapidly and I also remember you made a calendar note for August 14th related to this scenario. So I would say, Brian, that remember the ocean temperatures don't rapidly do anything. They're very gradual in nature. Let's just look at the sea surface temperature anomalies. Let's see where they are. Water always slowly adjusts. So that's number one. So the Gulf waters are warmer. The loop current is warmer, right? The Gulf Stream is warmer. Even the tropical, the basin, the basin itself, the tropical Atlantic basin is warmer than average. So they're already warmer than average. That's just a gradual thing. I would say that if we look at the long-range tropical models, let me just go to the basin as a whole here. There's a lot of orange on there. There's a lot of high pressure on there, Little storm system off the coast of the northeastern United States, kind of right on schedule. There's a lot of high pressure out there. And you have to remember, too, that water temperatures are just one piece of the puzzle. Wind shear, moisture. You have to have a lot of these pieces of that puzzle together to get tropical activity. It's not just water temperatures. But as you're getting to peak season, that all plays in, right? Yeah, I mean, look, we're relatively quiet here. This is July 12th. Little something perhaps off the coast of the Carolinas. Something in the North Atlantic heading up near the Azores. Nice little fish storm perhaps up near the Azores. But, you know, the models are going pretty quiet. That's July 19th. You know, so remember, water temperatures are only one piece of the puzzle. Husband's weight is 308. It's a struggle for him. His back isn't the best, but he can't maintain a good diet, in my opinion. It's hard when temptation is everywhere. I would also say that if you eat the wrong stuff after surgery, you vom. So at least it does help a little bit. It does help keep you in check. And I will say that my temptation is basically gone. Yeah, my temptation is basically gone. Margaret, I had gastric bypass 4 months after you. Best thing I ever did for myself, and the hardest, but still the best. Margaret, that's amazing. Yes, it's the hardest, and it will be the hardest probably the rest of your life. And I know it will be the hardest for the rest of my life, but every time I see my babies, and I know that I get more time with them because of that hard chapter. And I still get to eat whatever I want. I'm just going to have a little spoonful of cake instead of a whole piece of cake. You know, that sort of thing. As long as I go through all of that, I can still have a little bit. Moderation is key. And I feel like the surgery has physically changed me so that I know, hey, you know, like, great example. I did some takeout Pollo Tropical the other day. This is like 3, 4, 5 nights ago. Just Pollo Tropical. Got myself some chicken breast, but the balsamic tomatoes. I had a couple more than I normally do. Oh, my stomach let me know. You've had a little too much carbohydrates, Mr. Burris. Ooh, didn't feel great. It's like, okay, won't make that mistake again. Every time, you know, I make a little bit of a mistake, my body reminds me, Mr. Burris, you made a mistake. So anyway, so that's where we're at tropically, looking nice and relatively quiet these next couple of days. GFS isn't really going bonkers on anything, which is fine with me. Fine by me. So for today, my friends, another stormy setup. 70% coverage of rain. We're backing it off a little bit for tomorrow. 60% coverage of rain. And then kind of normal Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I like it. Yeah, I like it. I saw you gain baby weight with your wife's pregnancy. Huh? Beth, what do you mean? I don't know what you mean. When she was pregnant, I sat in a 5-pound window for the last 15 years. Never went higher, never went lower. Food portions for gastric bypass patients and their family. It's true. Yeah, we get, I get the 2 chicken breast platter and I have 1 breast. And we save the rest for leftovers or for other stuff. Yeah. Yeah, Robin says your body definitely lets you know. Kristen, so maybe not watching Florida the 21st. Well, the models aren't picking up on anything. But the model only goes out to the 19th. And there's a little piece of energy around coastal Carolina. If we were to back that off, you know, I wonder if that could be. And let's just look at the ensembles. And remember, computer models are guidance, not gospel. Yeah, the ensembles aren't picking up on anything yet. Switch over to the European ensemble. Yeah, I mean, they're not picking up on anything, which is fine. You never know. All right, people, that's all I got. Men gain baby weight with their wives. I mean, like I said, 5 pounds. I was 5 pounds. Maybe I went to the top of the 5-pound window, but yeah. Debbie, there's weather to discuss. There is. There is indeed. All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I will see you guys and gals tomorrow morning for Coffee Talk. Bye, y'all.